Welcome back to the channel, you curd nerds. We've got... Oh. I guess we're talking about this today. First off, I'd like to say, welcome to the new office. I moved everything upstairs, mainly because of this. I didn't actually move houses. I just had a spare bedroom upstairs that, if you look in the back, was mainly dedicated to the cats. But given that Next Level Racing was so kind to send me one of their flight simulators. It's not a full motion or anything like that. It doesn't come with any electronics. I already had all the electronics, but they graciously sent me one of their flight simulators to, well, show y'all, to show you what I'm going to use it for, and, well, to help create better content. But some disclaimers. They did send this to me for free so that I could review it. I was compensated in a free product to make this video. Second disclaimer, don't actually try and throw this box at somebody. It weighs like 100 pounds. My wife threw that at me empty just to try and get a laugh. But I am not going to do a build video. Next Level Racing did a much better job than I could ever do at showing y'all how to build this thing. I'm really just going to be unboxing it, showing you what comes in the box. You can see you get some nice lumbar support pads. There's the back of the seat. There's some warnings to come with it. But let's speed this video up and get all the stuff out of this box. As you can see, it came with a nice cushy seat. What we're opening now is the actual sim. It comes with a whole lot of parts. It's somewhat of an intimidating build, but if you can build IKEA furniture, you can follow the instructions provided and put this together. And it comes with everything you need to put it together. You are gonna need a pair of scissors. Other than that, it comes with all the tools, it comes with all the parts, it comes with all the modifications that you might want. This thing has a slew of customizations or adjustments. To say that this thing is adjustable is an understatement. As you can see, right there in that rudder pad alone, there is a good foot of adjustment to it, and this thing isn't built cheaply. A lot of products like this you'd see made out of stamped metal, formed metal, something cheaply built, and the holes barely line up. A lot of stuff's not threaded. If it is threaded, it doesn't thread well, but that is not the case with this. Everything lined up exactly the way it was supposed to. Nothing needed to be forced. Again, all the parts were there exactly where they should be, and all the tools came with it. It's really a 13mm and an Allen key until you start getting into actually mounting your controllers onto it. Then it turns into a slightly smaller Allen key and a slightly smaller wrench. But there's the seat going together. As you can see, it's a really nice seat. It's not a dumpy, plasticky, cheap kind of seat that you'd expect from Walmart or something like that. Not trying to talk trash on Walmart, but it's a quality seat and it reclines fully. So when your wife finds out that you spent $900 on a flight sim, you've at least got a place to sleep. But the rest of this build is coming together pretty nicely, and most of it's going to be fairly unique to your personal setup. Now, I have the Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo. I also have the Cytec X52, and I also have the Thrustmaster Airbus Captain Pack, which all of them mount up in different manners. And that would probably be my one gripe about this kit, is everything's mounted fairly permanently. Everything's mounted with nuts and bolts and Allen keys. So just switching between something like the Cytec X52 and the Honeycomb yoke and throttle requires me to pull out tools. So I really think some wing nuts would have gone a long way with this kit, but it's still fairly affordable, around $900, and it gets you one of the most immersive experiences that you can get when it comes to at-home flight sim kits, and it's even compatible with their motion kits that, if we're going to be honest, aren't very cheap. But as you can see, everything's attached fairly securely. I can bang this stick all over the place with no concerns about it coming loose, without it shaking all over the place. And that is because everything is fairly permanently attached with nuts and bolts. This Cytec X52 stick isn't going to move around at all. And with that keyboard mount right there, I have access to talk crap in the chat if I really want to, or any of the other controls that might be accessible mainly from the keyboard. And this thing does even come with a way to mount the keyboard right in front of you for those of you that might be playing something like Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen, where access to the keyboard for some of the more complicated ship controls are right there in front of you. Next up is the Honeycomb Bravo kit. Now this thing does mount with the stock hardware. You don't need to make any changes. There's no modifications needed to be made to the Honeycomb Bravo. For me, since I got short, stubby little legs, it does put it just a little bit too far back for me. As you can see, I'm kind of reaching back to get access to all of the throttle quadrants, all of the buttons and whatnot. But if you got longer legs that can reach the rudder pedals a little bit easier, or if you've got a different set of rudder pedals that make it so the rudder pedals can be mounted slightly differently, it might work a little bit better for you. But that's really the joy of this kit, is how customizable it is. It doesn't matter if you're tall, you're short, you're a kid, you're an adult. This kit will work for you. Now, time for your obligatory Fonk B-roll. Now that we got this thing all built and put together, we got our Honeycomb yoke up there. We're not actually going to be using that yet. We've got our CH Pro USB rudder pedals. Don't mind everything that's going on in the background. It's just War Thunder being weird, because that's how we're really going to show this off, with our Cytec X52 HOTAS and these CH rudder pedals. So let's get on in, and I'm just going to let y'all know that I'm not very good at this. I'm really not very good at War Thunder, but we're gonna try it anyway. I think we are gonna get in the F80 A5, and we're gonna go for a realistic battle. Hopefully there's enough people on that I'll actually get a battle in a fairly reasonable time. Let's see. There we go. We're in. Maybe we should buckle in. Now, I know the seatbelt might seem a bit excessive right now, but they make a full motion kit for this thing. And I'm looking at least where I hope the camera is. I don't know how streamers do that, like VR streamers. I don't know how they know where the camera is. But we are buckled in. We are ready to go. Why do we have HVARs? That seems like a really dumb weapon to have for a secondary. Oh, that's not the button I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. Well, it's because we don't really have any other good ones. So we'll go with the bombs, and there's some ground targets to go after. All right. Engines are spooling up. Seems like my seat might be just a smidge high. Let's go ahead and get flaps 1 for, or correction, flaps 2 for takeoff. And yeah, my seat is a smidgen high. I guess we're gonna scooch down. And airspeed, where are we at? Where's airspeed? Airspeed, 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 airspeed. Not really sure where airspeed is, so I'm gonna assume fast enough at this point and start pulling back. And ooh, that's a buffet. Let's get those gear up. And engine's getting warm. We're only doing 123 knots. I might be able to bring 1 notch of flaps up. You know, being a pilot, you'd think that a lot of these instruments would make sense. But okay, so I've got my VSI, I've got my airspeed indicator, I've got my altimeter climbing. Does the ball work? Well, looks like my rudder's not hooked up. The ball does work. All right. And flaps are up, we are continuing to accelerate. We are in like a first gen fighter, so, or is it a bomber? I have no idea. Does look like we have a trailing target though. This might be a decent sight. Wish I knew how to set up my bombs. So flaps are up. Let's go find something to shoot. Engine's getting warm. All right, we got something over there. Got a lot of buttons and switches. No rockets, okay. Oh, did I just let loose a bomb? Ah, I just dropped my bomb. Yep, that's the bombs button. That doesn't do anything. As I said, not very good at this. Not very good at this. But I can be bad at it really well. Oh, that's... Oh, uh-oh. Air brakes retracted. Oh, did I shut my engine down? Whoopsie. Okay, so that's how I look at that. That's how I look at that. That's air brake. All right. Let's go see if we can get this guy. This SK-60. Oh, it looks like somebody else got him. I feel like the Meteor is well, there's a Spitfire. Oh, there's a Meteor near it. Engine's good. I don't have afterburners, so I don't have to worry about running out of gas. Let's see what else we can do. Probably a whole lot of nothing. But at least I got a cool seat to do it in.
A few moments later.
I agree.
Yeah, there's the AI. I'll go after the AI. Oh, where'd they go? You know what? Let's go for squirrel system.
Heading to the base.
Spray and pray, spray and pray. Get the power back in. Missed all of that. Definitely wouldn't be a fighter pilot in World War II. Not even an interceptor, apparently. Oh shit, I'm getting shot at. Ah! Ah!
Cover me.
Oh, they're still back there. Oh, I stalled. Engine's on fire. We're gonna die. We're going down. Ah! Alright, I got a leak.
No, that's a lot of damage!
Where's the base? Can I make it back? Probably. Oh, wait, it's actually right over there. Let's go see. I might be able to make it back. I do have a leak. Is my engine still producing thrust? I'd like to think that my engine is still producing thrust. I believe that my engine, it doesn't look like a thrust producing engine.
Let's keep the pressure on.
Oil is 80 degrees Celsius. I wish I knew that was what that was in freedom units. Ah, the base is right there. Gear. Oh, nope, that was the engine. There's the gear. Flaps are set for landing. Air brake extended. Let's see if we can grease this in. Woo. Air brake. Air brake's retracted. Okay. Woo, woo, woo.
A little more effort and victory will be yours.
I mean, it's a landing.
I might have to pull my gear up because I don't think I've got a button set for brakes.
All right, now that y'all see how terrible I am at War Thunder and why I don't really play anymore, let's get into something I'm actually good at, flying airplanes. Now, this next level racing cockpit, this next level racing flight sim, I think it'll set you back about $800-900, which, depending on what aircraft you're flying, is about 4, maybe 3.5 hours of IFR flight training. And that's where something like this would really shine, is with Microsoft Flight Sim, or Microsoft Flight Sim, and practicing your instrument skills. And that's what we're going to show right here. Let's click ready to fly, and let's change the weather so that we, well, can actually fly in instrument conditions. Let's go with broken. And let's see where these clouds are actually at. So the bottoms are at 1500. That's fine by me. We'll climb on up to 3000 and do some basic instrument maneuvers. Things like just turns to a heading, constant radius, constant rate turns, constant rate climbs, constant rate descents, and see how it goes. So mixture's set. All of my lights are on. Don't have to worry about the prop. Go ahead and release the parking brake, and let's bring those engines up. Everything's in the green on my engine instruments over on the right. And airspeed's alive. There's 40, rotate. And we're up. Now let's try and maintain a heading of 200 on our climb out. We are clear of all obstacles. We can start lowering that nose and bring up our flaps. Climb out at VY, our best rate of climb. There's a little bit of turbulence, but it'd be a whole lot better to practice this stuff here in the sim than it would be for us to try and do this in real life, spending $250 an hour with our flight instructor, struggling when we can spend 4 hours worth of flight training on something from Next Level Racing and be able to practice this at home, to be able to freshen up on our skills if we haven't actually done actual IFR flying in a while. If I'm going to be honest, sure, airline pilot, I teach people in the Airbus sim, I fly the Airbus for work, but I don't fly general aviation hard IFR that often. I'm mostly doing this stuff with autopilot. I'm mostly flying with an FMS. I'm using really nice avionics. So if I wanted to go fly hard IFR in my airplane, I should be doing stuff in the simulator well before I go hop in my actual airplane and risk $100,000 or, well, at the very least, my deductible, or even my life or my loved ones' lives because my IFR skills aren't up to snuff. So we're going to practice them in the simulator. And here we are, actually in the soup. We can't see anything out the window. We are navigating solely by reference to instruments. Let's climb on up to 4,500 and maintain 95 knots up there. Make sure we're leaning out the mixture as we climb to maintain optimal RPM and keeping our scan up. A lot of people like to rely on their attitude indicator. I like to use primary supporting as opposed to control performance. Primary supporting method of controlling an aircraft under IFR conditions is I'm pretty much looking for any instrument other than my attitude indicator that can give me the information I'm looking for, and then I'm thinking of what other instrument can I use that would also give me that information. So here, in a constant airspeed climb, my airspeed is my pitch indicator. Since I'm at full power, the only thing that can really control my airspeed is my pitch. So if my airspeed's too fast, I need to pitch up. If my airspeed's too slow, I need to pitch down. Now here I am at my altitude. We're gonna bring back the RPM to roughly 2,200. That's just a nice ballpark here in a Cessna. And now that I'm leveled out, my primary instrument or my primary control for airspeed is going to be my power. I know back when you were doing your primary flight training in private pilot, you were using your pitch to control your airspeed. Now, since well, know what I'm doing, I'm a little bit more practiced, I can try to trim out the airplane as appropriately and then use my power to adjust my airspeed. Since I'm not really struggling with trim, or at least at this point I shouldn't be struggling with trim, I should be able to use my power to control my airspeed. So here we are, 90-ish knots, and still on our heading. Now, let's go ahead and make a nice constant rate, standard rate turn to 360. Oh, too fast. Too much bank on that turn. Maybe just a little bit of nose up trim. Now, even if I wanted to practice things like this in my own airplane in VFR conditions with a safety pilot, that's still a fairly expensive endeavor. You know, my airplane burns 10 gallons an hour in cruise. It burns close to 17 gallons an hour in climb. I mean, that's $60, $70 an hour, depending on where you're buying gas. This, after the initial investment, well, it's free. I mean, I guess my computer burns a little bit of electricity, so not 100% free, but a whole lot cheaper than $60, $70 an hour in gas. Not even talking about the maintenance that ensues from just using an airplane. So here we are on our 360 heading. Now let's try to establish a 90 knot, 500 foot per minute climb. So now I'm going to use power to control my climb. All right, way too much power. Maybe I need a little bit more nose down trim to control my airspeed. There we go. That's a little bit better. A little bit more power in there to get that climb back. And the airplane's going through a little bit of oscillations, so I'm going to try and dampen those oscillations and make sure that I maintain my airspeed and get close to my target climb rate. There we go. Not bad. A little bit more power back in there. 500 foot per minute climb, 500-ish. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. So, if y'all are interested in these, there should be a little doobly-doo down in the description. But I don't really have much else to show on this. It's awesome. I really appreciate that Next Level Racing sent it to me to share with y'all. And yeah, go check one out yourself.
Pull up, pull up.